All right, so in this first example, I want to show you what it looks like to factor out a -1. You'll see where this comes into play later when we get into quadratics and really studying them a little bit and factoring quadratics. But the reason that we're going to want to factor a -1 out, if you look at that leading term, you'll notice that it's negative, and for reasons I won't mention now, it's just a lot simpler if we force that first term to be positive. So I know I'm factoring out a negative. The other terms don't have x in common, not all of them anyway, and they don't all have a 2 in common. So I'm not able to factor out anything except for a -1. So I'll be putting a negative on the outside, then open parentheses, and I'm just going to be changing the sign of each term. So this will become a positive 2x squared. This will become a -6x, and this will become a positive 5. And you'll see later that this is actually something that we know how to handle a lot better than the original that we were given. All right, in this second example, I want to show you what it looks like to not factor out the greatest common factor and how you can tell if you didn't factor out the greatest. So let's just act like a dummy here for a moment, and you're looking at this problem for the first time, and you're thinking, oh, all of these have a 3 in common. So you're going to pull out a 3, and they all have an x in common, so you're going to pull out an x, and that's all you do. Well, if you did that, 3x times 3x to the third would give you the first term. The next one would be a 6x, because x times x gives you x squared. And then 3x times 12x to the fourth. And you're thinking, I am done. That was the easiest problem that I've done all day. Well, if you look carefully at the inside of the parentheses, you can tell that it's not factored completely, because each term, see how they still have an x? That tells you that you didn't factor completely. And if you look at the coefficients, you'll notice, oh man, 3 and 6 and 12. Well, 3 goes into all of those. So that tells you that you haven't factored completely. All right. And that would be, an incorrect answer if you were to pick that one on a multiple choice test or something. So to finish factoring it, I'll show you what that looks like. So as what we have left inside the parentheses, they all have a 3 in common, and they all have an x in common. So what we're going to do is we're going to be, here, let's take that 3x here and put it down there. And out of all of these terms, we're going to factor out another 3x. All right. So we have the original 3x and another 3x that we're factoring out. Well, this first term is going to become an x to the second. The second term is going to become a 2. And that last term is going to be a -4x to the third power. All right. So now all you have to do to finish the problem would be to multiply these two terms on the outside of the parentheses. Let me erase what I have. Well, actually, I'll be able to. Yeah, I can just scroll down a little. Good. All right. So our final answer, 3x times 3x, would give us 9x squared. And then everything that you had originally on the inside of the parentheses. Yeah, I know it's not in standard form, but that's okay. So you could multiply this blue one, and you would get our original top green one. And that's it.